and going to Shanghai and having cups of tea on her way through.
Mr Chair.
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Chair, what a lacklustre performance from that member who's resumed his seat, the never-to-be MP for New Plymouth. I have never heard such rubbish talked in this House since the last time he spoke. And I have to say from him is that he can't even read what's in the very bill that his own party supported in Select Committee. So at Select Committee, the committee came back with a report to the House urging a change to, in fact, make the easy vote card be a little bit more robust in its application. So the member who's resumed his seat has said that a poor elector might not be able to pronounce their own name. Like when? When? Or that they will have to do this verbally in case there's a problem and they can't actually say it. OK, well then all he has to do is look at clause 24(2)(a), where it says that if an elector is unable to comply with the requirement in subsection 2(a) because of an inability to understand English or because of a physical disability, the elector may comply with the requirement by a gesture, or B, any other means with the assistance of a person nominated by the elector who is present with the elector. And I can well imagine what's happened in the Labour Party since this report came back. I can well imagine. What's happened is Matt McCartan. That's what's happened in the Labour Party. So when the Labour Party was listening to Marianne Street, who took a principled view about what should happen in the voting booth and whether or not someone should actually be the person they say they are when they're voting, that was okay. The Labour Party then stood on principle along with all the other members, including, by the way, the Green members of the Select Committee. Then Matt McCartan came in, and all of a sudden Andrew Little realised that their little scheme to go and get lots of easy vote cards out of people's letterboxes, given to people to go and take and vote and just get away with it, was going to not work. And I think if we think about that, just think about it this way. Here's an example. Which party has had someone convicted of electoral fraud ever? Oh, I don't know. It's the New Zealand Labour Party. And when did that happen? Oh, when did that happen? Just a few months ago. In fact, I think it was even a few weeks ago. And who was it? Mr Joeljit Singh, JP, of my electorate, actually, Mr Joeljit Singh, who went to the effect of taking 70 people apparently living in one home. 70. In case you thought I said 17. 70 people living in their home in Papatoetoe, and Mr Singh did this for the Labour Party. He did. And that would have meant, actually, coming up this next election, what would have happened would have been 70 easy vote cards sent through the computer system through to, guess what? One address. 70 to one address. And I'm sure that not all of those 70 people lived in that home. The only party ever to be convicted of fraud, electoral fraud, is the Labour Party. And if I want to have a look at some photos, I've got some lovely photos of the Labour Party, Mr Phil Goff, all sorts of people with Mr Joeljit Singh campaigning for the New Zealand Labour Party. And I'll be very, very happy to share those if the members now want to forget. So when we look at this bill, which of course came back from the Select Committee, and after the excellent, Mr Goff thinks it's rubbish, I'm happy to give him a photocopy, no problem. And when Mr O'Rourke at the Select Committee, I'm advised, came up with this excellent idea to make sure that they stamped down on fraud in the polling booth, Mr O'Rourke was supported by all the members of the Select Committee. I don't know if Mr O'Rourke now thinks it's such a good idea now that Matt McCartan's in charge of the left, but having said that, that's exactly what's happened here. What's that, Mrs Martin? I can't understand a word she says. Never mind, she can gesture for all I care. Having said that, we will not be supporting the amendment of Mr Andrew Little, who then, having fired off the most abusive and stupid press release any of us has ever seen, and he's actually wrong on every account as usual, then says, well, why doesn't I reply to him? Because, frankly, I can't be bothered with someone like him, because he actually never even reads the bill that he's and speaks about. He's a useless MP, always has been, and he never will be again.
I call order. I'm calling Dennis O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Yes, it was a pleasure to work with the Justice and Electoral